do you have a particular program that you provide for, entrepreneurs that are smaller businesses as opposed to those that you've dealt with in the past as it relates to private equity?
I think the beauty in the transition here between the SBA and then coming over to a private sector business like Arctic Island Financial, for those of you who are familiar with, and I know Michael can speak also on the Jobs Act, I think the interesting thing here is that what has happened here in the last, let's say, 14 to 18 months is that with the passage of the Jobs Act, basically what we had for the first time since about 1933, 1934, is a situation where we basically have the democratization of capital or access to capital where, whereas in the traditional investment banking sense of, how does a business get capital? When you make a decision, you have two choices. You have equity or debt. When you look at debt, you have either securitized debt, whether it be bonds, which everybody's familiar with, whether it's a municipal or corporate bond offering, or you have lending, the traditional consumer or commercial lending, or you have equity-based deals, stock. That's you issue stock in your company. So what happens is when you look at what the SBA does, that's the traditional lending. As opposed to the other side, for the smaller businesses or for a business that's just getting started, it used to be that when you decided that you wanted to go out and raise money, what you saw in other communities across the country, and you would have what's called friends and family rounds. And friends and family rounds, to be done legally and be done right, usually consisted of people that were at $250,000 that were accredited investors. Now, in our community, the African American community, I've got some pretty well-off friends, and I've got some people there, but I just don't have that Rolodex of $250,000 liquid net worth folks that I can just go, hey, Uncle John, I need a loan. I need you to put some money into my business at 25 or 30%. We never had that luxury. It's not a luxury that's ever existed. It's of no fault of our own. So what has happened now with the advent of the new rules and some of the new things that are coming into play, a company like Arctic Island, through being a broker-dealer, through having the ability to now have a portal, what you will see, and I know we'll talk about this when we've got plenty of time today, you see the Kickstarters, you got to see the Indiegogo, you see these other companies. And so what we'll do is, as we go on a little bit more, we'll establish what the differences are between an Arctic Island and a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo. And basically some of the differences between the donation-based and some of the peer-to-peer lending or peer-to-business lending that you see. So basically where we come into the fold is that now with the advent of the new rules, a small business that needs that $50,000, that $75,000 deal can actually come to an SEC FINRA registered broker-dealer, two people that have the traditional investment banking background, to say, listen, this is what we want to do. We want to raise some money for our business. We don't necessarily want to get into a lending situation where if my business fails, I still owe you at the end of the day. If you buy stock and your company goes out of business, guess what? They took that risk. That's just one of the inherent natures of taking common stock in a company, depending on how the company's structured. But again, that's where Arctic comes in as a broker-dealer that will have a platform when equity crowdfunding does become legal in the U.S. There are other places that it is legal, the UK, and there are other states actually. I'm